Good morning. Bring
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today's mukbang, we are going to eat Thai food, Tara Thai, and our special guest is Miss Alana Koenig. Hey, applause, applauso, applauso. All right. So let's get into this. Okay,
I got pad thai noodles, no bean sprouts, no egg, with my water.
Okay, can you show the people?
Oh, sorry. Alright.
I'm gonna show y'all. Doesn't that look yummy?
That looks good. That does look good.
And I got the spicy eggplant and rice. I can't really show you guys it. Kinda. It's a little oily, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I got that and rice. And water, because I love water. Is this your water? My water.
This is my water.
Oh, okay. Alright, so today, for those of you that don't know, Alana, I met her in 2005. She was a sophomore in my geometry class. And guess what? She's a teacher.
I am a teacher now. Yes.
She's a teacher. So we're going to talk about her experience in my class. Right? You okay with that?
I am okay with that.
All right, so we're gonna start from the first time she entered. The first time she entered my class and her thoughts.
All right, so I was in 10th grade, like she said. I was 15, and I hated math. I've always hated math. I hated it. I could not stand math. I still don't like math, but
extra.
So I walked to class, and I don't even really remember who was in my class, but I just know that when class started, this woman was cutting up and carrying on. Like she was mean. It was like, and she had people in there shook. Like, I mean, like, just real scared. And so, but I was okay with it. I wasn't really scared. I just knew she was not playing no games. So she had an expectation in her class, and this is how she wanted stuff done. Like, so strict. She had people transferring out of this class, okay? So, and I went home after that day, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, we have a geometry teacher. I was like, she plays no games. And all my mom said to me, she was like, good. It's good for one of. So I was just like, oh my gosh. But then come to find out that she was Caribbean, so that was expected. And also that she was, you wouldn't think she was on the younger side at the time. I think you were around 25 at that time. And you would have thought, we thought she was way older than that, because she was not. She did not crack a smile, nothing. If somebody was talking while she was talking, she was like, cut it out. So that was my first experience in her class. And I was just like, well, I'm not going to transfer out. I'm just going to tough it out.
Pause for a second, guys. Guess what? We forgot to pray.
Oh.
Trifling. Trifling. So we're going to pause for a second. We're going to pray. And then we'll get back to chatting. Yeah.
All right.
Right?
You going to pray?
You going to pray?
No, you going to pray.
I'm gonna pray in my head. How about that? You pray in your head.
No, I'll pray out loud.
You pray out loud? Okay.
All right. Heavenly Father,
Let's hold hands.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, ready?
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this food. Please bless this food to our nourishment. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Quick, simple, done.
All right. So what else?
How's your food?
It's really good.
Yeah, mine's good too.
Did you eat it?
Yeah, I just gotta put some more out.
I'm like, I didn't see nothing go in your mouth at all.
Okay. So,
This is delicious.
yeah, so, back to geometry class. So like I said before, I hated math, and I knew that getting into certain things of geometry, because geometry is with shapes, which makes math even worse because it's shapes and numbers. It's one thing when you don't understand the numbers, but then when you add shapes, it was like, what is this? So as time went on, really made herself available for help. And I think that was one of the biggest things that, got me comfortable with her. She made herself available.
How comfortable?
Not that comfortable.
No, remember you used to lay on the floor.
Oh yeah, I'm
comfortable.
gonna tell him.
I mind my business.
Right. So she made it really made herself available, which allowed you to stay after class to review stuff that you didn't understand. But even during class, you could sit wherever you wanted to sit. So I was in the windowsill, on the floor, laid out, spread out.
In a skirt.
In a skirt. In
a uniform skirt.
In a uniform skirt, laid out.
Might I say it was always an appropriate size. Always. I never felt like your skirt was like
too short.
Yeah.
I tried. Lynette wasn't having that. Like,
yeah, she should.
Where was I going? So
to be fast.
Just
kidding.
That's not her at all. At that school,
That's not her at all.
So, so being able to be comfortable while I was learning something that I did not like. And getting the help that I needed from the greatest math teacher ever, because she was the only person that could get me to understand geometry in that way. And we got to a particular topic about proofs. I don't know if y'all remember proofs from geometry, or if you're doing proofs now, or whatever it is, but those things are hard. Side, angle, side, angle, angle, side. I don't even think that's, is angle, angle, side one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, and side, angle, side.
Side, angle, side, 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 angle.
No, there's no side.
Okay. Okay, wait, hello. So those were really hard for me. And so she stayed with me until I got it, until I understood, prepared me for my test that I needed to get through. I don't even know. I don't know how I made it out of geometry, but I did. And so, but even aside from the math part, she just became a lot nicer.
I didn't.
She became a lot nicer as the school year went on. And so she got to know me as a person. And so one of the things that really made me comfortable with her was the fact that she was identifiable. African-American female, Caribbean, okay? You never, ever, ever, where? And throughout my schooling, a lot of my teachers were white and middle-aged, married, the typical way you would think of a teacher. And then you finally get somebody in the classroom that looks like you, understands you, speaking the same jargon, has been there, done that, all of that. So that was wonderful. And she got to know me as a person. So it wasn't just about my grades in her class or me doing the work. That was important, and that was, the order of business. But after that, she made time for me as a person. I appreciated that. So, that was my first few experiences with Miss Bruce as my teacher.
So let me tell you about Alana.
Oh, Lord.
So, Alana was a student in my 7th period class.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. This is in 2005, and I remember she was in my 7th period class. And that was the first time we work at the school that I work at now. And so my first year there, I'm nervous. they're somewhat nervous because, it's a different year, new teachers or whatever. And I'm nervous because it's a different school and, different students and things like that. But Alana as a person, like since I met her, like we just clicked. I don't even think she knew that we clicked, but we clicked.
I didn't.
I
was still trying to figure out if you like me. I was like, dog, I do not want to piss her off because she is going to call my mom.
She was always doing her homework, always staying after class. Just the sweetest, like always respectful.
Aww.
And anytime I encounter students that are trying and they're willing to do whatever it is to do well in my class, like I will always support you. And she's always been that type of person. And even after she no longer had me, she'd still come to my class. This girl got so comfortable, she started bringing her own little friends in my class, like I wanted to be after school chilling with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would go get the little sister that went to the school like 10 minutes away from our school. And they're there till 4 o'clock, and I'm looking like, y'all ain't got nowhere to go?
Nope.
But I mean, honestly, I did not care. And we fostered such a strong relationship. At one point, I got food poisoning and I was out for a week. She came to my house.
Showed up.
Showed up.
Where you been at?
We thought you quit.
Where you been at?
I was dying. That's what I was at. I was dying. I got food poisoning from Chick-fil-A. Not Chick-fil-A, sorry. I have food poisoning from Chipotle.
Don't blame Chick-fil-A like that.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chick-fil-A, I'm sorry. I have food poisoning from Chipotle. I always get the chicken bowl. What's it called? The rice bowl?
The burrito bowl.
The burrito bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, excuse me, that was gross.
Was that the day you found the hair?
No.
No, okay.
No. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, the first time I had Chipotle, not first time, but the first time I found hair in my Chipotle, that was a sign from God to leave it alone. But I'm stubborn sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm like, all right, whatever. It's an isolated incident. Like, I'll be fine. So, I don't remember if I was trifling and picked it out or no, knowing me, I threw it out because I was just so disgusted.
Yeah.
So then my thing was like, I'll never go to that Chipotle again, whatever. So I go to another one. Ate the food, I'm fine. Then I wake up in the middle of the night, straight to the bathroom. Throwing up and pooping the entire day. And I'm like laying on the carpet like, Jesus, save me. What in the world is going on? So I stayed home because I was just so sick. And like, so sick, like I'm like, and for those of you that don't know, I'm originally from Boston. Not originally, but after I came to America, I lived in New York for a little bit, but then we settled in Boston. So at that point, I've been in Maryland for a little more than 2 years. And I don't have a lot of family here. So like, I consider some of the students that I was really close to my family. And to be away from my family in New York and my family in Boston and to be like dying, and then like, I can't call anybody in Boston and say, oh, bring me something. Like, that don't even make sense.
Yeah,
but
what they gonna do?
This one right here just showed up like, we came to your room and you weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went yesterday and you still weren't there. So I'm like, I said, then I think they went to CVS or something and got me something because I was like really dehydrated or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like those little moments, 14 years later. No, it wasn't 14. I think you were like a senior, right? No.
By that time?
No, you were a junior.
I was a junior in high school.
It was 2007. Those memories, 12 years later, I still remember, and from her graduating high school and like her parents inviting me to her graduation and, every milestone Alana has hit, I've been a part of. When she turned 21, she invited me to her dinner. Mm-hmm. And I just, I never felt awkward. I'm like, all right, where are we going? Like when you had the 21st birthday at the seafood place? It was in Georgetown. And your mom, and then your mom paid $600 for that dinner because they were arguing about who's paying the bill.
Was it that was 18?
That was 18?
That was 18.
You're lying.
I'm serious. 21 was at the 21 was at the hotel.
Oh, I was not.
You weren't a part of that function. It was 18, and it was at Sequoia's.
Yes.
Sequoia's.
It was at Sequoia.
Because Tyler was there.
Yes.
Yes. So Tyler was there. That was
shout out to you, Tyler, her old best friend. I hope you alright.
Oh, he's fine. And I meant to do this one in the video. Shout out SJC class of 08. You guys. You know, shout out SJC period, but you know, 08, that's fine. But yeah, that was Georgetown for my 18th birthday. 21, that was an isolated event. And
that was a crazy night.
Hello. But when I sat there through everything.
Talk about your freshman year at St. John's.
My freshman year.
St. John's University.
Oh, okay. So after I graduated from St. John's College High School, I went to St. John's University. So I had done the orientation there because they have an orientation for freshmen. And then, like, in August, you go up there, you take your stuff, your folks drop you off, and you set up your room, your dorm room. So
I don't know what she was thinking.
I'm an only child.
I don't know what she was thinking. I knew it wasn't going to last, but go ahead.
So I'm an only child, and I just thought, you know, like I was doing it up. I'm going to New York.
Pause. I went with you.
Went to the orientation? You went with mom and dad to orientation?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember.
She drove up with my mother and father and I to drop me off at this orientation.
Yes, I remember going.
And y'all, I didn't tell them, but I was so sad. I was scared and I was sad.
She is a brat.
Listen, it didn't matter.
A spoiled brat.
Period. Did not matter. They dropped me off and I was so sad. They were like, all right, see you in a couple days. So that, first of all, that just speaks to our relationship at this point, because she rode up to New York with my parents to drop me off at this school that I thought that I wanted to go to, but quickly realized I didn't want to be at. So I'm at orientation. The people were okay. I didn't really know anybody. We stayed in the dorm room. That was that. Yada yada. They came back at the end of the weekend to come get me. They were like, Alana, how did it go? And I was like, it was okay. It was fine. I think I pretended like I liked it. Like I didn't, did I show any sign?
You seem like you liked it.
Yeah,
though.
it wasn't, so I didn't really say anything at that point. So when I came back at the end of August to go to the school, it was just my parents this time that dropped me off. As soon as they shut the door, first of all, I realized that I was going to be in my room with 3 other girls. And the bathroom was in the middle. And it was another room with 4 other girls in that room. Yes, that one bathroom.
What's that called?
8 girls.
I know, but like, what was the room called?
A suite. Like a shared bathroom suite with 4 girls on each side.
That's so weird.
I was like, oh my God. So as soon as they left me, because none of my other roommates were there yet, I hadn't met any of them. My room was cold and it was lonely. And as soon as they shut the door and left, I cried. And I said, I gotta get out of here. I have to get out of here. So I spent that entire semester doing absolutely nothing.
Being miserable and harassing me.
I called every day and cried. Along with my parents, and told them I can't stay here. My father thought I was depressed. He called the counseling center at that school and says, look, can y'all please call my daughter because I think she needs an evaluation.
I didn't know that.
It was that bad.
No, I didn't know he called.
Oh, he called them and they called me.
Okay.
And I was like, what? Like, it's not that bad. But let's just say that semester I got really good grades. And I would come home every weekend. That was the year Obama was running for president for the first time, and I did not file an absentee ballot on purpose so that I could come home. So every weekend after class on a Friday, I was out. I was on a bus back to Maryland, and when I would have to come back on a Sunday or a Monday, I would cry. It was so terrible. I missed home so badly. And so I was telling you know what, I'm making these moves to come home. I'm not staying. New York is not for me. The people here are rude. So it's like I'm not staying here.
Mind you, she rude too.
I'm not rude. I'm not. You heard what she said.
Listen,
I'm the sweetest thing. I'm not rude.
She's sweet, but she rude. If you know her personally, comment below. Let her know that she's rude.
Not rude.
But go ahead. I love her though.
So this is so good.
This is so good. Listen, this is a vegetarian option. If there's a terracotta near you, get the spicy eggplant. When I tell you this thing is banging, like it is so delicious that it is seasoned to perfection.
Oh, that's good.
I could taste every single spice in this joker. What about yours?
It's really good. I'm recently a pescatarian, so I went vegetarian. Not vegan, vegetarian. About 2-3 months ago now. So I stopped eating chicken, beef, and pork. And so I recently incorporated fish and shellfish back into my diet, and this is a good pescatarian.
So she was a fake vegetarian for 2 months. That's what I hear.
My doctor made me do it. I don't want to do it. But I can't go back to eating meat anymore because honestly, I'm just definitely afraid of how sick it's going to make me. And I feel a lot better though. But that's a conversation for another day.
Okay.
So I came back. So I was coming down, talking to transfer counselors at different schools. I applied. I think the very next week after me being at St. John's, I think I applied to several different schools.
What did I tell you to do? You don't remember, huh? I came and I got you. And I dropped you off because you. So she decided that she wanted to go to the University of Maryland.
I did.
Right?
I didn't know how I was gonna get in
I came
there.
and I got her, and I dropped her off, and I said, "You go straight to admissions office, and you speak to someone personally, and you tell them whatever you gotta tell them to get into that school."
Yep. And I did it. And the man in the office said to me, he said, "I don't know how you showed up here. I don't know what brought you here, but as long as you do this, this, and this, you're going to get into this school." And mind you, at that time, I was not even taking the correct classes to transfer to Maryland because I needed an English class and I wasn't taking the English class at that time. I was taking a religion class because St. John's is a Catholic university. And so he told me, "We'll worry about the English later. You just need to do this and your GPA needs to look like this and we'll work it out." And lo and behold, because even the smartest kids in my class at that time from St. John's did not get into Maryland, did not get in. And so,
but not getting in.
When I say I didn't do anything else but my schoolwork, I didn't do anything else. And I got into Maryland and I lied and I took all my final exams from St. John's early. And my mom came and got me.
You lied?
I lied. I told them I had vacation.
Oh, and they just let you roll?
They let me take my exams early. And my mom came to get me. And that was it. I came home. And guess who was waiting for me at the door?
At the door.
At the door.
At the door. I was so happy for her, you know, because I knew how upset she was and I knew how miserable she was. And don't get me wrong, St. John's is probably a great school, but not everyone is going to fit into you. I knew how miserable she was.
I was trying the eggplant.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I knew how miserable she was, and I knew she wanted to come back home. So I'm like, you know what? Like, there's no sense in telling me to tell her to tough it out. Like, she was, like, legit not happy. Like, you have some kids that's just like, all right, you know, first semester, you know, whatever, and then they're going to get over it. But I could tell, like, because I've known her for so long, I could tell that she was just not going to be happy. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever I can do in this very moment to help her, get out of St. John's, then I have no problem helping her. Then she graduated from Maryland on time after leaving St. John's, and usually all your credits when you transfer, that's one thing, not all your credits will transfer, but she was still able to thug it out. She's still able to work it out and graduate on time. And then, guess what? Then she tells me, guess what? She want to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Lord.
So.
You sure?
I was, okay, so this is how this started. So, I came back home, and I had started my major at St. John's University was International Affairs. And I was like, what is this? Like, no. So I kind of struggled with what I wanted to become at that point in my life when I got to Maryland. And so Miss Bruce was one of the people who just told me, let's pray about this. Talk about this with yourself and, decide really what you wanted to do. And so I just started to think about the impact that people have had in my life, and I knew that I wanted to have that impact on others. And so the people that stuck out were my teachers, her being, at the forefront of that. And being as young as she was and being able to relate and be there. She has been there for me constantly, even when I have done the most absurd things, even when I have been unreasonable.
Oh God.
Even things involving my friends. I know sometimes I can be really stubborn and a little off. She has stuck by me. She will tell me when I am wrong. And not a lot of people, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of teachers don't do that after you are no longer their responsibility anymore. So at that point, I had told her, I said, yes, I'm going to be a teacher. And
all I was thinking is those poor kids. I knew she'd be able to handle herself just because it's just her personality and just the way she carries herself. Them poor kids. That's what I was thinking. But go ahead.
So, like you said, that eggplant is so good.
I'm so bummed. Cousin, do you want some of our food? Don't lie and say no. Animal. That's cute. Right. So we actually had someone. We actually had someone else in the house, right? And we're sitting here grubbing and talked about our food or whatever. And she's in the corner, probably just looking like, what's going on? I'm hungry too, guys.
Well, hello.
So I just have to make sure we take care of her as well.
After I graduated from Maryland on time. After transferring, because I did what I had to do, honey.
On time.
I took a job in this before and after care program called Kids Go. While I was there, if it wasn't for that position though, because it was inside of an elementary school, and I came into contact with a special educator who worked at that school, and after a conversation with her, and she realized I had my bachelor's degree in special education, she was like, oh, we need a long-term sub as a resource teacher. So she pushed me through to the assistant principal and the principal of the school, and for the second half of the school year, I would go work the before care in the morning. I would go and be the resource teacher throughout the school day. In the afternoon, I would work the after school program. And from that, I got my recommendations that I needed to apply for the county that I'm with now. And I got my first full-time teaching job the very next year, and I was in grad school at Bowie State University. Shout out Bulldogs. So after that, my first position as a teacher, I was co-teaching a creative writing class and Spanish 1. Creative writing, it was cool, and then Spanish 1, it was cool too, because St. John's prepared me for some of my basic Spanish that I needed. I was honor Spanish 4.
Who you shouting out?
Ooh,
Not Sister Catherine?
Sister Catherine, yes, Sister Catherine, and Mendez, Miss Senorita Mendez.
Helen, she's shouting you out.
Yes. So y'all were great, and to this day now, even throughout college when I was working with Marta at McDonald's, y'all, that got me through. So I started working at the school in the same way. Her classes were her kids, so I was straight out the gate. I was not playing no games.
We ain't with it.
No games.
Period.
And years later, she said, why did you, like start off like that? And she told me, she said, as a young person in the classroom, as a female in the classroom, it is easier to start off that way and then ease up afterwards than to start off too nice and these kids are running all over you. Absolutely. And it's true. It is proven. It's true. I see it over and over and over, and the kids ask me all the time now, like, Miss Hay, you were so mean in the beginning of the school year. And they're like, why? And I'm like, you respect me now, don't you? Like, things that I ask you to do, you just do it. And you don't question what I'm asking you to do. And so it has proven to, work. Even some of the things that I wasn't a math teacher at first. I became a science teacher after the creative writing and the Spanish. And these same strategies just worked for me. And I always kept best of what was going on with me in my building. And if she, had any advice to offer, she would. We would sit down and, talk about my experiences as a first year teacher. And that was a really hard year for me, y'all. Like, it was hard because I was a special education teacher. So I also had a caseload along with grading papers and teaching and not knowing the curriculum for science. I had to learn the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade curriculums for science. So I was learning along with my kids that first year, and it was really difficult. Shout out Miss Adams for taking me under her wing that first year to show me all the things that I needed to know in terms of special education. But all these wonderful teachers, but Miss instrumental in all these things for me. And now I am going into my 7th year of teaching. And I feel like I'm still...
Why is she dating me? Y'all do not need to know how old I am. 7th year.
I just turned 29.
Ma'am.
I just turned 29. What is today? The 7th? 5 days ago.
5 days ago.
HBD me.
Yeah.
But she's been there. When I say she's been there through everything, the boys, the men, the
friends,
the parental struggles, growing pains, all of that.
Brat.
Listen, they need to put some respect on my name, okay?
Brat. Brat.
No. But it's been...
It's just a big heart.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, you're the ride or die friend that you can call in the middle of the night like...
What's that?
This is what's going on.
Almost to a call.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, where you at? I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. So for anyone that's like thinking about becoming a teacher and may not necessarily have the support that you felt, the support that you felt that you had, like, how would you encourage them
to go about seeking that help?
Yeah, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the thing about it is, like, fine, like, a lot of stuff is like textbook. Like, yeah, read the textbook. This philosopher says this. This philosopher says that. But when you're in the classroom, all of that formal education goes out the window. No kid or student fits in a box.
No. So
you have to be able to assess this situation on your own and deal with it firm but fairly. And just having enough courage your first year to find someone, you know, to just to kind of vent too. You know, it is very important because I think on average, people stay in the education field 5 years.
And then they dip out.
And then they go because it is very stressful. Like the thing about the difference between being a teacher and working elsewhere, you're always on. You know, your dog died, you're having a rough day, you're tired. You cannot take that out on kids.
Yep.
It is not their fault. So you have to put on your smiley face and say good morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how are you doing? It's a selfless job. If you are a genuine teacher, and I'm talking about the genuine teachers, I'm not talking about people who are in the field because it's a check.
Yep.
If you are a genuine teacher, you genuinely care for your students and their well-being, and you check in. Like I always checking in. Ask, how was that when you came in my room and you didn't speak?
Oh,
you're not doing that.
What question were you asking? And you didn't say good afternoon, good morning. Always made sure, even if you didn't feel like it today, you was gonna speak.
Yep.
It was gonna answer how are you, and if it wasn't so good, how are you? We're gonna get to this business, and then we're gonna figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Listen, if you've had me, comment down below, because y'all know I don't play that. One of my things, I'm like, listen, did you wake up next to me this morning?
All the time.
And they're like, look at me, like, because I didn't get my good morning.
All the time.
I don't know who raised you, but when you come in this room, you're going to speak, because whenever I see you, I always speak. I'm always like, good morning, how are you doing? You can ask any of my former students, anyone who's ever had me, I always greet. And you know what? I'm mature enough to discipline you and then still speak to you as a person, as a human being.
Absolutely.
You can't you can't harbor things towards kids.
Like, right.
They're still growing, they're still learning. So I'm going to say what I got to say, and then I'm going to turn around and say, so how are you doing?
Yep, that's exactly how it would go.
Then,
she could have reamed you out. Like, she could have read you your rights.
She's bipolar. Like,
listen, 2 minutes ago, I'm like, here, you need a pencil? I used to watch that and be like, dang, oh, she's crazy, y'all. Right.
But it's like, I said my piece, like, you know, it is what it is, so let's move on. Like, I don't want you coming into my classroom like, oh, she doesn't like me. And I know having a conversation with a student, sometimes they internalize that, and they're like, oh, so-and-so don't like me, therefore I'm not going to do their work.
Mm-hmm.
Which, listen, if you're a young person and you're in high school and you're watching this, that is the most illogical thing to even think at all. Regardless if a teacher likes you or not, it is still your responsibility to do well in that class,
mm-hmm.
because it affects you, not that the person that you think don't like you. And guess what? When y'all leave our class, we ain't thinking about y'all.
Yep. She used to go home and sleep like a baby.
Listen, I'm thinking about what I gotta eat. What am I doing later on? You know, what show I'm going to watch on Netflix. Like, honestly, like,
mm-hmm.
Guys, guess what? Guess what, Alana?
What's going on?
Tenemos postre.
We have something.
This chick taught Spanish 1.
We didn't learn tenemos in
We have.
We have. That's what I said. We have something.
What? Dessert.
Oh, I didn't know that postre was my bad. Oops. Shoot. I think I know what this is.
Okay, we're gonna.
Absolutely. Don't peep in there either. How she see that?
Peep in there?
How you see?
You peeped?
No, I was trying to peep, but then I'm like, how did she see that? You're on the other side of the. Oh.
You wicked, you know.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Didn't get a chance to.
No.
Alright guys, so we have dessert. She's actually going to try to guess. What do you think?
Is it cake? I swear to God, I didn't see it.
Who thinks it's cake? Who thinks it's not cake? Alright, open it together. Hold on, wait, let's open it again.
Aww.
Open it again. Okay, go ahead.
1, 2, 3. Alright, what is it?
This is mango.
Yes, the mango I know.
And sticky rice.
Okay. Interesting.
Is this your first time?
Yes.
Okay. The last mukbang we did with Wade, don't even check. The last mukbang we did with Wade, she never had tres leche cake. This one, Alana has never had sticky rice. This is what it looks like.
That's good.
All right, you gonna try it? I mean, I've had it before, but ready?
Look at you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. See.
The sticky rice?
Yep.
This is very sticky.
Yeah, it's normally not this tough because.
Okay. It's coconutty. Is there some
I've had better.
coconut going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've had better. But this is my favorite dessert to get from like a Thai place.
I didn't know they had that.
Oh, there's one just the Thai place by your house.
Thai at Laurel.
Mm-hmm.
New shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Thai at Laurel. One of my favorite places to go.
This sticky rice,
Bomb.
bomb.
Everything they do in there is bomb.
Bomb.
Yellow curry, bomb. Pad Thai, bomb.
Bomb.
Everything, bomb. Happy hour from 4 to 7 every day, bomb.
Man.
Not that I be in there every day, but mango is always a yes. It's good. I don't know what type of Caribbean you are
If you don't like mango.
if you don't like a mango.
Real live, my favorite fruit. Okay? To anyone, new future teachers, current teachers
Yes.
who are inspiring young people, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So like you were saying before, to all the teachers who are out there, you know, currently doing their thing and are about their kids, hats off to you. Our job is not an easy job. Sometimes you have to even kind of bring yourself back because you get so invested and involved. But you love your kids, and like it's a selfless job. And you don't get, it's not like our pay, it's never been about our pay to keep us going. It's actually relationships like this, honestly. You know, I still have kids now who are about to be seniors in high school. Woo! That are probably going to speak to me forever and ever, and I'm going to always check on them and, you know, see, it's rewarding to see your students be successful. Like some of my kids, their milestones, they have started to drive, taking them for driving tests. Some of them have, you know, gotten into programs. Some have graduated from high school already this past year, 2019. Shout out you guys. Also, some of them, and then I've also had students pass, and that's like almost like a family member, like, you know, going on, and it hurts because that relationship was there and it was built. So to everyone who was thinking about becoming a teacher, ask yourself, what are you in it for? What are you investing your time into or would like to reach? Who are you trying to, you know, please? Are you trying to, is this for you, your paycheck? Or is it about, you know, inspiring others? It's a big word in the teaching world, inspire.
buzzwords.
Yes. Love also. You do love. You love a couple times. You love on your kids really hard. And that's part of where the reaming out comes from, the reading you your rights. Some of us we don't do that just because it's fun and what I say goes. It's because we actually care. So at least that's why I'm yelling out at the top of my lungs, because I don't understand what you're doing. If you're not listening to me, what are you doing? What are you doing? But that's like it. So thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Alana will join me again for another mukbang with another guest, and we're going to talk about having healthy relationships. All right, so don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share.
Inspire.
Oh, and inspire.
Inspire.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.